Hey everyone, it's Jebro and I'm back with another commentating my own gameplay video and also just telling you about decisions about other players, what they're doing, maybe some bad decisions that players are making, as well as bad decisions that I make, as well as good decisions that I make, and maybe different things I could be doing while I'm playing, ability wise, and also our teammates as well. It took a while to get a game, not gonna lie, it took about 1.5 hours. With bots, with rage quitting, with AFKs, especially on NA. I don't know if it's like that on EU. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. It is pretty difficult to get a decent game at the moment. I'm not gonna lie, it is tough. I think it was because of the lateness at night as well. It's like Tuesday nights are normally pretty dead in gaming. I found, like online wise, Tuesday is like the day where people just seem to be doing other things in the evening. They're just like had a long weekend. It's been Monday, Tuesday they want to, I don't know, watch Netflix and The Office, I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna look at this game. I'm playing support Scrapper, and I'm gonna pause it during different times of the game, potentially as well. I am gonna just quickly go back and just show you the build as well, because this is quite important. So it is gonna be alchemy, inventions, and Scrapper down the bottom here as well. I have not gone for kits, for the heat med kit, because the game goes so quick that medkit almost feels like it's not quick enough to access all the skills so I can get out the support I need to sometimes. So like I've actually opted for a ton of gyros, and the support comes from quickness in this build as well. So it's like quickness, healing from the gyro, as well as, you know, just healing from other skills that I have. I do have, you know, things like elixir gun and whatnot that pump out a little bit of healing from obviously my first skill on the tool belt as well. So there is a sage amulet as well on this, because condition damage is a little bit higher in this build, only marginally. It's really from the poison more than anything else, because you get it on your pistol, you get the bleeds, and you also get the poison coming out from the elixir gun third ability. So I have to get a lot of speed off it in this specifically as well, because using the first ability, because I don't have a lot of swiftness. I have swiftness from the E-gun, from the elixir gun on the second ability, but I don't have it from many other places, so I have to consistently use this first skill quite often to move into fights. So that's the only other unfortunate thing, and because in this fight we haven't got the Revenant with us or anyone else that potentially can give me some swiftness, I've had to use that quite early. So that's something I don't have going into this fight. I don't have protection, I don't have that healing for another 20 seconds. So I've got to make sure I survive and stay on the edge of the fight, watch these players coming in, and obviously we know that there is a necro that I have targeted right now, and that is potentially going to be a lot of AoE cleave on the point. We did have as well, just quickly having a look, I'm pretty sure I did check who was in the game, so make sure as well before you even start the match you check who you're up against. Did I check? Please tell me I did. Did I even do this? I may have done it before the recording. I think I did. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway. That was bad. Anyway, so Revenant on our team is going to go to close. Then we've got mid. Is going to be at the Ranger, the Soul Beast, the Core Necro, and obviously the Mirage as well. So we've got a lot of potential for the Shout Beast, the Beast, Soul Beast, and obviously the Mirage to do a lot of running from close to mid, as well as the Revenant. We see a Lich form here, so I pop up my bubble ASAP. Now it's been going for a couple of seconds. I know that I'm probably gonna have to get a couple of seconds after this. I do get a little bit of a cheeky stun on there because the AoE damage on the floor on the Lich. So I did actually stop them for a moment. Unfortunately, Amesma goes down and makes a big, massive mistake. They port, but they port within range of the spike. So they just ported and the spike didn't even matter. Didn't even matter where they went to. So I know now, I'm rinsing my cooldowns pretty hard now, knowing that I'm in a lot of crap, and I panic use my Purge Gyro for no reason. That's mostly because I feel like I'm going to get Condi bombed as I run away. I didn't even have any Condis on me, so that was a bit of a wasted ability. We lose the Rev as well, who went from close to mid, but the Soul Beast did a great thing. The Soul Beast, knowing that we'd lost the fight as well, and I don't think from before, they did start to move, it looks like, while we're at mid. So to be honest, this probably was a bad decision maybe from the Soul Beast, knowing maybe they felt like we were going to lose the fight. They went to far. Oh no. Maybe they were popping some damage out. No, they were popping some damage out, so it's not too bad. They did start to move knowing the Rev was here, but we were 5v4 here. They did see the Mirage and then they started to move, so maybe that's why. Unfortunately, they didn't drop any cleave and didn't help the team fight. So a little bit of a mistake there from the Soul Beast. And the rest of the team should have just started to move out, but the thing is, the Rev just got jumped on. I don't think they had much escape. Look at the condition damage on them as well. That's pretty nasty. So I'm using shield there to get out. Pop some protection as well as regen and everything else on me while I'm trying to move out as well. The Necro Pandora is going to be moving back to close as well. So I'm just signaling on the map to the Mirage. If you're going to go anywhere, don't go mid, go to far. Here I make a big mistake and I don't go to help our Necro. Should have done that, but I did see the Guardian coming over. Knowing that we've got a 2-cap, Necro probably could have moved over to me rather than getting caught out here with the Revenant and the Necro. And now I'm going to be 1 versus 3 if the Revenant comes over here as well. Knowing that I'm pretty much screwed and I can't do any damage, especially with that condition damage which jumped on me, I'm going to bail and get the hell out of dodge because I know that there is, 2 to 3 people here. I can't see the other player at the moment. Get stealth. And that is me out of there. I'm pretty tanky, but remember, I don't have much toughness. I don't actually have that much health. It's about, what, like 15k? There you go. Well, it's much more than that. It's 19. So 20k. So it's actually quite a lot of health. But I don't have toughness. Now, I've actually pushed all the way over to far for some reason. Early game, I'm still trying to work out where I'm going here because my team is really rotating all over the shop. Necro 1v2 close. I'm trying to take advantage of this situation here, potentially, rather than go over and save them, go to mid, and then try and defend my Mesmer. Now, this person, I think, is a bot in the game, and questionable whether or not this person was as well. Now, I recognize the name in various games previously. I don't think they are. I think they were just AFK'd for a second, and the other 2 players maybe having a little bit of a whisper, but the movement in the game from our Mesmer felt very bot-like in terms of just how they moved and turned and stuff like that. So it was very much like, it's not necessarily, you don't have to call it out, obviously, but this is an issue in the game at the moment. Unfortunately, there are some bots like in PvP queues. I don't know, to just farm gold, or I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm just trying to hold mid at the moment, knowing that it's the only capture point we have, trying to remove condition up the Burn Guardian as well, knowing full well that I've got tons of condition on me and I need to get out and I have 30 health. I see that my teammate over here has a little bit of trouble as well, getting a bit of a knockback as well as a big blast heal. And here is the really bad thing which is currently happening for the red team. They are technically 3v2 right now, okay? You see on the map down here, our Soul Beast, unfortunately, has died far 1v the Mesmer. They didn't even have the neutral. They didn't even have the cap. Really, really poor death over here. Very unfortunate. The Revenant is respawning. The Necro is recapping. And one player, I'm not sure where they are. I think they're coming out now. The one problem here is that this Dragon Hunter is going for the capture point over the fight, which is a massive mistake that I would say probably 80% at least of the Guild Wars 2 PvP community make. And many people, you will say in chat, you've probably done it yourself, fight on point, fight on cap, you have to get the capture points. That is not true most of the time. You win the fights, you win the capture points. If they get the capture point, you get the capture point for 2 or 3 more seconds, you're only getting 1 to 2 points on the board. You get 3 kills off point, you've got 15 points already. You've already made more points than you would have if you just stayed around the capture point. And you've obviously, then got the cap point as well. And you've got the opportunity to snowball the map if you rotate correctly and actually, do your work, do your job. Obviously, if you're fighting around the capture point, you don't need to also stand on the capture point all the time. You can lose the capture point. You want to focus on winning the fight over anything else. Just having this capture point in your favor ain't going to matter at all. The only time that matters is right at the end of the game when it's a draw pretty much, and you're literally trying to hold the capture point to win. It's pretty much like the only time it matters. And, you know, I see countless people making that mistake, spamming chat, you know, saying, you know, stand on the cap, make sure you got the cap. And this person's made a big mistake. Now, the reason is, downstate, Necro's very, very low. Put poison on them as well. They're downstate, they're dead. Lich, the only thing you can do, I've got my bubble, and I've got my shield, and the Necro just, you know, hasn't got anything else left. The Guardian as well, still not here. I think he's coming over now, maybe. Unfortunately, I was very low. That was a lot of damage coming out from them. I CC them. Now, now the enemy team Necro is coming in. Really solid res. I get my heal gyro off, and they get the res as well. So now the other Necro back up and into this fight. So what happened in the end was, okay, we didn't get the kills that we wanted, but we did get the decap. The point I'm trying to make is that wouldn't have even been an issue if for the red team, if the Guardian had been there fighting. They would have just won, and we would have just left. Now we've actually come back into the game. We've got an opportunity to come back, maybe push this fight in our favor, but we didn't win the team fight before. I know this, and I'm actually a little bit stuck right now because I used my stun break as well. Revenant just trying to go for the spike instead of going for cleave, doesn't really go for it much, and I knock him back and we get the res. Good job from the soul beast. And actually we've got a 5v4 mid as well. Red team have gone for the decap on our close point, so we've got an advantage now in the map. Good job fighting the soul beast as well to get the res. I don't have a stun. Nope, I do have the stun break. Bubble to just make sure that Mesmer doesn't get extra damage on me. I see the Revenant is really low actually as well, and the Mirage doesn't feel like they're massively... It feels like they're actually doing stuff now, so maybe they weren't really a bot. Maybe I was just like... Unfortunately, big error here. Big error here. The Mirage didn't see me going for the decap. The Mirage has got the damage. They're the one to take this fight and to get that done. I should have stayed though as well. And so should the Mirage, especially because they've got players here. Unfortunately, the Revenant gets way too involved and goes down as well. Because they were low, they didn't need to go in for the spike. They didn't need to go for much. They could have just done some range cleave potentially, but they went in there and they overcommitted. Really low HP Mirage as well. I decided to just go for the damage, go for the acid bomb on the elixir gun, of course, but unfortunately in the end, that's not enough. Does get back up and... It just reverses now, and luckily, we kind of win this fight in the end as well. But you see another big mistake that people go for, especially Soul Beast, when they haven't got much defense really, in all honesty, especially when they're going up for the spike, haven't got much protection, anything else, haven't got any boons really. I've got a bit of regeneration quickness there, but that's from me. Going up for the spike when there's so much cleave coming out from this Mesmer is a big mistake. All it needed to do was cleave down the enemy as the Mesmer is trying to go for the res. The Mesmer can do nothing about it. It has to push away. Instead they go up and they really make themselves quite vulnerable by going up in the air and coming down to finish them. Especially like that Revenant who can push them back anyway. Not worth it. The cleave is. Mirage comes over. And that's pretty much, that's pretty much it, to be honest. They got the full cap over there as well. We were lucky here that we did get this fight, and in the end, I'm trying to heal the Soul Beast, but it's not working unfortunately because they're kind of running away. But it's okay. Now I come over here for the support. I want to always try and stick in with the support if I can. My damage is very low. It's not great. I don't play this build very often, but when I've been going support, I've been playing this more often than not because Guardian feels okay, but I feel like I get bursted a lot more. I feel like I've got a little bit more protection in this build. I do get my gyro off there. Unfortunately, you can see the panic, the Lich is out. The Revenant is mid right now. We've also got the sword buffs on this map, very, very important. Don't forget the shield. That's going to give you an immediate res back up once if you go down, and then the sword is going to give you that instant finish, well, almost instant finish on opponents when they do go into downstate. It takes it takes a couple of seconds. You can get the res if everyone gets onto that body. But it's a really, really strong ability as well, especially if you kill multiple opponents and you just have to get a little bit of damage on that opponent for that to happen, so you can kill a couple of people at a time. Here I've got a choice. What do? Bubble. The knockback is really solid there, really good knockback, and I know I can try this for a second, and then that's it, really. I can keep trying to put a little bit of poison down, just because I see that potentially there's a little bit of low HP on that rev. Trying to get a little bit of poison as well, knowing they're still quite low, and I need to get out. I don't dodge the greatest time there either, unfortunately. I do have my shield, so there's a little bit of quickness, regen as well coming out. I just dodge around the corner just in case they get some range damage off. And now I've got my healing gyro as well, and I can use acid bomb to just get a little bit of distance between me and them. And I go up, get higher up a little bit, so I've got a better view on the fight, as well as just, you know, a little bit of line of sight on people like the Necro. Unfortunately, my teammate there doesn't help me. I think they were watching the Necro or something. I don't know what they were doing. Revenant on our side, as well as the Mirage, have pushed far. Looks like they've got a little bit of a downstate battle going on there as well. Mainly focus on my fighting here over on the midpoint as well. Looking at the Necro, they come into Lich form and go out quite quickly, actually. I think they make a bit of a mistake, or they were quite low maybe already. I may have missed that, actually. Maybe they've just come out. Just going for as much defense from my team as possible. Now, this is where I'm kind of like, maybe medkit would have been useful, but then I can't focus on really anything else. I'm just kind of focusing on the medkit itself rather than, you know, the other gyros. I noticed that this is getting decapped. There is 0 point in my rotation as a support character to go here right now. There is no point. People might be screaming on this that there might be a point. I'm going here because I know there's at least 2 to 3 people respawning, and they're probably going to go to their close point, or they're going to go to mid. They're not going to, they might send people here just in case we send people back because of greediness. Now, this, what do most Guild Wars 2 players do now? See this? See this? See this? The sadness begins. We have a lead of 322 to 293, 30 points. Already you can see from that rotation from both the Ranger and the Necro into a Guardian, which is 1 player, we've already lost the midpoint. That means that now the Mirage has already panicked to mid as well. Well, the Mirage has done a good job covering mid. I have also gone to mid as well because of a little bit of panic, because I thought maybe we would get rumbled over on the midpoint. So now we've got to recap this. And there is a 2v2 over there as well. So they rushed in actually 1v2, then the other player backed them up. Now we are 2v1 mid. Not great, because we're outnumbering and it's going to take us a while to kill him because I'm support. So I need to leave and let the Mesmer try and win this. This 2v2 over our close point, not great. You can already see the Necro is very low. They're both just standing on the point apparently as well. Lots of cleave damage from the Guardian. Now I come in and we've lost the rev. So my rotation potentially may have been bad going back to mid, and I should have stayed over on far. But at least the Mesmer had that, and they went over to this point as well. And it is a 2v3. We lose this fight here. We lose close fight. We lost mid for a moment, and we lost far. We went from a position of having 2 capture points, with all of them pretty much dead, well, other than 2, because the other member of their team joined over here. 2 capture points right here, with 5 people alive, complete control, and then the greed came in. They wanted that 3rd capture point. We don't have the mobility here, other than maybe the Mirage, I guess, and the Revenant. I mean, they're quick, but they're not thief quick, you know? They're not getting up to this higher part here unless they know the little jump that you can do, and they're really good at it. Mirage can. And the Necro can if they've got Worm. I didn't see them use Worm a lot. They didn't even go the quick crit as far as I saw. They got greedy and they ended up almost losing us the game. From this one poor rotation. Pinnacle moment of the game. I talk about pinnacle moments in these games very, very often. There are moments where you can mess up and the enemy can take advantage. This is a 2 cap to 1 right now. I am stuck mid. Their Guardian is here versus 3 respawning players. This is where they mess up now and they don't take the advantage. I know I don't need to go back here. Okay? This is where we make another mistake. You would hope the Necro is unfortunately not visible on the map because they were dead at the time, and they can only just see them now as well, apparently. But then the Revenant, the Necro just run right past the Soul Beast. They just run right past him. They've got no awareness of what's going on. They're not looking at the map. They're not looking at the HP of their team. They're not really paying attention to anything else that's going on. I always say in PvP that this map is like when you remember when you got you remember when you learned to drive a car, okay? When you learn to drive a car, or when you learn to drive a car, forgive me if you haven't, you are taught to look at your mirrors very often, like once or twice every 10 to 15 seconds in the UK. Silly. You're never going to do that. But very often. The map is like your mirror. It is your vision around the map. You can only see this area that's in front of you right now. You can only see this area, which is the area around mid. And it's very, very, very narrow. I can only see this part of the map. You know, I can't see anything else unless I use the vision from other players, because you can see other teammates. You can on the map permanently always. You can see the opposite team as well, as long as your teammates have them in line of sight. So it's very important to know where the enemy team is so you can rotate appropriately. Here, they let their teammate just die. Unfortunate, not sure why at all that happened. And there's me, you can see. I'm trying to help them, trying to get them to go over to our teammate and get a res or something. The Revenant and the Necro, for some reason, think that, I don't know, that two people capturing the point is, you know, quicker. So a big error from both of those two players. We lose the Mirage Fire as well. They didn't get out of their fight. And this is another big thing. You don't just die in your fights if you can. Now, I know that happens to me sometimes on stream. And I die. Like, you're gonna die in fights. Sometimes you get bursted. Sometimes someone comes out from the side. It's not always perfect, but you don't want to just give up the cap and die, because that's 5 points as well. That's also time off the map. That's giving them the snowball of the map, like as they run over the map, get the capture points, get the kills. You don't want that to happen. Get the buffs as well. That would be awful. And here I just do my best to get out. Use the shield ability, stack some protection, get stability, get quickness to use my abilities as quickly as possible, regen, everything else, and go to far. Now here, I feel like I make a really, really good move. Red team have pushed a 2v2 by the looks of things here, and the Ranger is coming out to back up. Mirage here is making a very poor decision. We see the Rev here is coming towards me to attack. You've got two players here, I think maybe three, but that means, well, I mean, if it's a 1v1, then cool. But I think this is two players here rather, or maybe we've got the buff coming up. Let's just have a look. Now, really odd thing happens here. I stealth up, and the Rev leaves.
You've lost the field.
Now, I think that is a massive mistake from the Revenant. They could come back into this game. The Revenant had come over here, they would have stopped me. They should have been, by now, they should have known that I'm a support. Should have seen that I am now like getting that decap. And this isn't where I really want to be as a support. At the moment, I'm rotating because I need to. There is no point in me being in this fight over here because they are 3v2 or 3v3 and they're winning it, you know? Unfortunately, our team, now this is where the little bit you have to kind of almost like carry a little bit. They're staying here. They're dead. I'm like, come on, mate, let's go. Let's move. Already one down. There's 3v1, 3v2 now. I'm drawing on the map as a note to me in the game. I know they can see it as well, unfortunately, but this is more of a note to me in the video. And also maybe a little bit to them as well. So they're 3v2, sorry. The Mesmer is mid and the capture point is neutral. They're not doing anything. If they die there right now, it's not good. I know there's respawns. There's two. There's the Guardian. There's the Necro. They're deciding to go for a 2v1. We have 427 to 393. If I can hold on to this for even a fraction of a moment, that gives a little bit of an advantage as I push back to mid to support. I know they're potentially going to come over. The Guardian, for some reason, goes back towards the Necro. Maybe Catcher comes back into mid in a minute. But the Mesmer does really well and wins this fight. Problem is that it took a long time. You know, they won the fight in the end, which was cool. But it did take a long time, and they could have come in that whole process. They could have just come to farm. We could have sat there and had that 2v2 and had the 2 cap, and the free players could have run over to mid and maybe got that as well. Options, luckily, you know, it was fine in the end, but that wasn't necessary. 9 times out of 10 as well, that fight, and you've seen it during this game, that player will die who's there, who's 1v whoever's respawning, come over to reclaim it. 9 times out of 10, especially in gold games, you're going to see that player die, and you're going to see the enemy team come back across the map. It happens so often. Think about your rotations. If those enemies are coming over to you, you see 1, 2 or 3 players. If you are not getting support, hold on to it for a second and bail. Have some way out of this situation. If you die, you are then 4v5, and they are respawning with fresh cooldowns and fresh everything. They've got momentum into the map. Respawning together as a group it can be your best way of completely just switching the game up. You get a couple of opportunities to do that, not many, and that could have been one if I died there. So they could have come onto mid and won that fight, but the Mesmer died as well. So unfortunately, like this is the mistake that the Mesmer on the enemy team actually made. They stayed in this fight, and they wanted to hold on to the capture point for as long as possible, gave us another 5 points instead of disengaging and regrouping with their team. I realize that we're now like 2 or 3 people standing mid, but I'm just waiting to see whether or not the enemy team is coming over. They are. It's 4-6-7, 2 cap in our favor. We've got 3 minutes 30 seconds left in the game, 4-13 to them. They've not really got much going for them right now. We've got a Minimancer standing on the point as well right now, so they're pretty tanky, as you know. Just getting a little bit of a cheeky knockback, standing a little bit of the AoE there. It's just a chill field, it's not much. I'm just trying to defend my teammate really more than anything. And now with that decap from the Mirage getting behind those red team members, that's pretty much it. They do a great job. I don't think they were a bot. It was just that earlier in the game there was some very bot-like movement, and they stopped for a good amount of time, like I've seen bots doing in the corner, like Blair Witch stuff. I don't know. Very close kind of game. Like I said, gold 2. So that's where I am right now. I'm playing everything. I'm playing Reaper, I'm playing support Scrapper, I'm playing support tons of other stuff. I'm just playing Condi Reaper as well. I'm playing random builds all over the place. Rank, like I said, and if anyone who says ranking means a lot at the moment, it really doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And that might sound like I'm being salty because I'm gold 2. I'm a gold 3 to plat player. I have no, you know, like, and in this, you know, what the hell does that mean? But ranking really doesn't matter. You've got bots, you've got rage quitting, people can duo queue in a ranked mode where you can also solo queue. It doesn't make sense to me. It's only really there so that people can play together and have fun. So as soon as that came in and came back, it just took all legitimacy out of it for me, for anyone who's getting up to that top spot. And I know a lot of people say, you know, there's stats and everything to say that that's not the case, but a lot of people who do get up to the top are in those duos as well. And early season, it carries quite a lot of people as well. I don't feel like it is a proper ranked queue to determine your skill. But obviously, if you're getting plat and you're getting up to legendary consistently, you know, I'd say that you're probably pretty damn good. If you're gold, you're probably a bit average like me, you know, and you're doing okay. You're, you know, average to maybe above average. If you're below gold, you know, you're getting there. You're starting to learn the things, you know, you're not really that too bothered about your ranking, and you're just kind of hitting the ranked queues every so often and just having fun with it. Thing to do is to have fun with it. If you want to get better, if you want to improve, if you want to get like a team together and really invest, the place to do it is the automated tournaments. That is the best place to get some kind of idea of where you sit competitively, because, and even though, you know, because of the Swiss kind of style of it as well, now you have more games, you've got more potential to get up to the higher echelons of the AT, to actually play more teams, to get a little bit more experience and to build that experience to get better and improve, rather than just having that one game kind of be shut out like it was before. So that is the place you want to learn. Get some friends together, go and do that. Come onto the stream when you know that that's going to be happening as well, an automated tournament, and I will probably do it with you. I don't care. You're welcome to come over, hang out, maybe learn some stuff from me. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know the game pretty well by now. I may not play it as much as I know it, if that makes sense. But yeah, either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I did ramble a little bit there at the end. I enjoy doing this. It's fun. So let me know how you go with this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please also make sure you check out the Patreon, which is $5. And also there's a ton of tiers up. You want to come and play a game with me potentially on stream, there's tiers to do that. Go and do all the things. If you want to buy the expansions or pre-purchase End of Dragons, there is a link in the description below. I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Don't forget to check out the links on the screen. Take care and have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon, peeps. Loads of exciting stuff coming up in Guild Wars 2.